So hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are speaking about such important information like blockchain trilemma, why I believe that Ethereum will be hit Bitcoin and Ethereum will be the best blockchain so soon, and I have a strong reason to think like this. I'm not like people who have a lot of dream and just say, oh, Bitcoin is the future, Bitcoin will be $1 million. No, I will be explain why I think Ethereum will be used by a lot of bank, maybe by government, and Ethereum now really creating strong fundamental system for this. It's not like a Solana who just hype on a meme coin, like a lot of meme coin built on Solana, and a lot of people like Solana. No, Ethereum in the same time, when Solana create a lot of meme coin, Ethereum create a layer 2 decision like ZK Sync, for example, which Vitalik Buterin mentioned just one day ago, and after this we saw like ZK Sync increasing in more than 150% just for a couple of days, just one day increasing. So we saw a so big move, and for this movement we have a reason, because I think it's maybe time to see big move in a lot of layer 2 decision. And in this video we will be explain what is a layer 2 decision, because Ethereum just 1 week ago introduced us to a new website which they created by institutionals for big bank account, for a lot of maybe company, for even maybe for government, and they explain what is a layer 2 decision, how layer 2 decision can be helped in the future for a lot of reasons. For example, Deutsche Bank, it's the biggest bank in Germany, already use ZK Sync for daily transaction. For example, if you thinking about mass adoption, and in the future when we have a million transaction in a bank every day, some people sell something, some people buy apartment or buy a car, and we have a sign of agreement every day. But what in the future we will be decide that all these transactions will be moved in some blockchain. But for this reason we have to find fundamental and strong and secure blockchain which can provide a lot of transaction, and all these transactions will be so cheap. And this is a problem which Ethereum try to solve, and it's a problem called blockchain trilemma. And if you don't know what is it, you have to read some information about this problem. And as you can see, the blockchain trilemma, it's a kind of concept which cannot opportunity to achieve a three critical aspects of blockchain technology simultaneously. It means we have a lot of blockchain, but no one can be security, scalability, and decentralization in the same time. It's and more interesting thing that this concept was first introduced by Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin. It's the same guy which which created Ethereum, and in the same time Vitalik also how to say, show us a lot of information about layer 2 decision and how layer 2 decision will be solved problem of blockchain trilemma. And yeah, if you will read some paper from Vitalik, you will be see that this blockchain which called layer 2 decision, what is this? If you go to ethereum.org, it's a really helpful website. If you try to understand how Ethereum work and what is a layer 2 decision, you will be see that layer 2 decision, it's a separate blockchain which extend Ethereum and inherits the security guarantees of Ethereum. I will try to explain more easily. We have a three important property for each blockchain. It's decentralization, it's security, and it's scalability. But if you choose a random blockchain, for example, Bitcoin, it's a so decentralized blockchain because we have a lot of nodes around the world. We have people who mine everywhere, and it's so security. That's why it's so security. But we have a so big problem with the scalability, because if a lot of people in the same moment try to use Bitcoin and send a transaction, we will be, how to say, increasing cost of transaction for unlimited price, and this transaction will be happen maybe a couple of days, which I saw in 2021 when it was so high, big hype. Is this why blockchain Bitcoin it's not ready for using in a mass adoption? It means even Bitcoin, it's not a money, it's just value inside a blockchain, and Bitcoin cannot be used like a technology in the future. And I hope you understand this, because Bitcoin is kind of digital gold, because people believe in Bitcoin, that's why Bitcoin costs something, but nothing else. Because if you try to understand how it's working proof of work, and it's kind of decentralized database which hold information about how many Bitcoin you have in each wallet. This is called blockchain Bitcoin. But when we have a blockchain Ethereum, in blockchain Ethereum we can add smart contracts, and these smart contracts can give us opportunity to have a agreement between two sides without middlemen. And it's so important, because I am thinking exactly this property can be useful in a can use for a lot of bank, can use in a government in the future. That's why I so believe in Ethereum. But Ethereum also have a problem, especially before 2022, before Ethereum work in a proof of work also. But Ethereum so decentralized and so secure, but also have a problem with scalability. Which blockchain don't have a problem with scalability? It's, for example, XRP, because XRP is so cheap, so fast, and you can send a lot of transaction. It's also still secure blockchain, but XRP don't have a decentralization, because all blockchain controlled by a small group of people. That's why all blockchain have a lack one of the property. That's why if we want to find a blockchain of the future, we have to understand what is a blockchain trilemma and how Ethereum now solve this problem. And they really solve this problem, because if you read newspaper from Vitalik, he explained how it's work. It's main blockchain Ethereum, and after this we have a lot of blockchain around which inherit security guarantees of Ethereum, but they are making the most important things for Ethereum. It's just imagination how it's work, and if you don't understand how layer 2 decision work, you can go to website ethereum.org, and here you just can ask what is the layer 2 decision, and you will be understand how it's work. For example, if one transaction in Ethereum costs so a lot, and in 1 second, for example, Ethereum provide us around 19 transactions per second. If you see, it's 15 transactions per second. It's not enough if we thinking about mass adoption. But when we have a layer 2 decision like Base, Arbitrum, Optimism, Starknet, and etc., but Ethereum Foundation show us only this blockchain: Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK Sync, Polygon, Linea, Starknet, Base. But Base and Ink don't have a coin, but this project already have a coin. That's why in my portfolio I have almost 45% of this project, because if Vitalik believe in this, and if Ethereum Foundation believe in this, who I am that I don't need believe in this, because I think they more tech guys than me, and they understand which technology we need right now. And if you will see that this blockchain, layer 2 decision, it's a separate blockchain which inherit security guarantees of Ethereum, but this blockchain give a scaling factor for Ethereum. It means if Ethereum have only 16 transactions per second, but if we add another blockchain, Base give us 147 transactions, Arbitrum give us 40 transactions, and it means we have a scaling factor around 14x. It means if Ethereum, for example, have a 1 million transaction for 1 day, it's a lot transaction, but not enough for mass adoption. But with this layer 2 decision, which already exists right now, we have a scaling factor around 15x. It means with this blockchain, separate blockchain, we have a 15 million transactions for 1 day, and this amount of this blockchain can be increasing for unlimited times, because all this separate blockchain built not from Ethereum Foundation. And in this website you will see that a separate blockchain, and of course we have a risky, because all layer 2 chains inherit security guarantees from Ethereum in an ideal world, but they how to say, they are safe like Ethereum one. However, many of these projects are still young and sometime experimental because it's like a startups. But what's the most important? You have to understand how it's works. What is the layer 2 and how this blockchain can scale the main blockchain. Because if we have for example, 100 transaction, just imagine 100 transaction. If you send all these transactions in a main chain like Ethereum, you will be paid around $5 right now. But in the future, when we have a more hype, like it was in 2021, one transaction cost around $400. I remember those time in 2021. But it's so expensive, and you have to wait sometimes a lot of hours to wait your transaction. But if we use a layer 2 decision right now, we can package in, we can combine 100 transactions in one rollup. That's why we have a rollup, optimistic rollup and ZK rollups. It's two different technology, and I will be maybe explain in the next video. But it's two different technology, but they work similar because they combine a lot of transactions in one rollup, and in the end, they send this transaction in a block of Ethereum 1 blockchain. That's why all these transactions are so cheap, because all these 100 transactions go to main block, and if, for example, one transaction on Ethereum just $5, these $5 will be split for 100 transactions. That's why cost of one transaction right now in the Ethereum layer 2 chain so cheap. You see, it's a Starknet, it's Optimism, it's Linnea, Arbitrum, it's so cheap transaction. But in Ethereum, one transaction costs a lot. So that's why we have a so cheap transaction, and it's so fast, because if we use Ethereum, how to say, if we use only Ethereum chain, its transaction cost a lot. But because we combine and we put in one block, cheap transaction and fast transaction. This is the most important things which you can understand and which you should understand about layer 2 decision. And because Ethereum introduced us to layer 2 chain which they believe, I think that's why they show exactly this blockchain, and even Scroll, so small project, around 30 million capitalization. That's why I believe in this project a little bit less, because it's kind of more risky, because it's a small cap and it can be more volatility, but I still have in my portfolio. But this is important information which can be understanding for you when you will be understand how we will be see mass adoption in the future, and how we can find blockchain which can be have all this property. And right now I know only one blockchain which have on this free property. It's Ethereum. That's why my bet on Ethereum and Ethereum ecosystem, and we will see what will be in the future, but I highly recommend for you understand what is a layer 2 and why we need a layer 2, and how it help to scalable main blockchain like Ethereum, and give us cheap, fast, in the same time secure transaction, because all transaction before how to say, before prove this transaction, all this transaction follow the main blockchain on Ethereum. Yeah, and I hope you understand me. My English still not so perfect, but to give me more motivation to create such of this video, follow this channel. And what do you think about layer 2 decision? And yeah, subscribe this channel if you want to see my transparent journey, and I hope in 2026 this portfolio will be hit $1 million, and I really believe that it will be possible, of course, from layer 2 decision like ZK, Starknet, and etc. So that's why what I want to share with you today, and just check layer 2 bit website, and just to see how layer 2 decision can scalable Ethereum, and yeah, it's a lot of interesting information about risk analysis and some general information which you can understand. What is optimistic rollup, what is ZK rollup, why Vitalik believe in ZK rollup more in the future, but it's kind of not ready for using right now, because right now optimistic rollup more useful, because this technology already exist maybe 3-4 years. And yeah, just this. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next video.